Hey, Coach, thanks for taking the time today.
Thanks, Shane.
We'll start with Ruben, and then we'll go to Dave.
Hey, Nick, I wanted to ask you about Noobe Dean. I guess a two-part question. Number one, what did you see from Noobe his first 2 years when he wasn't playing, as far as behind the scenes, and your impressions of the way he's playing now?
Yeah, Nakobe's playing really good football. We're really excited about how he's continued to evolve as a player. I think you got to see Nakobe be able to contribute on special teams, particularly when he was healthy in 2022. Made a big hit that I remember against Tennessee and had some really good plays. And so you saw his ability, you saw his talent, and he waited patiently that year, and then was able to get meaningful special teams reps that we saw great talent from, and then off the injury worked his butt off to get himself back, and man, I can't say enough for how he prepares and how it's kind of translating to on the field. So I know he'll continue to work hard to continue to get better.
We'll go to Dave and then John.
Hey, Nick, as you think about the 4 years you've been here, what has Brandon Graham meant to you personally and professionally?
Yeah, can't say enough good things about BG. I think you guys have asked me this a couple times, and just everybody in every workplace needs a Brandon Graham. Man, his energy is contagious. You can't get around him and not. If you're having a bad day and you get around him, he can turn your day positive. Obviously, the player speaks for itself in the play on the field. He's having a great year, but just can't say enough about him as a leader, as a captain, as a teammate. And I've said this a bunch. Like when I first got the head coaching job, to have Fletch and Jason and Lane and BG, to have four guys that were 10+ year Eagles at the offense and defensive line, really made the transition from a coordinator to a head coach. Made that a lot easier because of who they are as captains and people. And BG's right there at the top of the list. Yeah, means a lot to me. And yeah, just can't say enough good things about BG.
We'll go to John and then Brooks.
John, I think
I'm
you.
next, so I guess I'll jump in. Hey, Nick. The off the field stuff with Brandon, yeah, obviously just tremendous impact on the organization, but on the field, multiple injuries at the same position, that can always cause problems. Do you feel you have enough there at this stage?
Yeah, I feel like the guys that we have good options in house, and I know that Howie and his staff and will leave no stone unturned. And so yeah, but again, like I said, the guys, you only focus on the guys that you have right now, and the guys that we have, I'm really excited about their opportunity. As bummed as I am for Brandon and losing him, I'm excited for these other guys' opportunities. Nolan's been Josh and Nolan and Jalix. Nolan keeps getting better. Sweaty's having a great year, and Jalix is seeing an uptick in his snaps, and Jalix and Nolan, they play with relentless effort, great physicality. So as bummed as I am for BG, excited for opportunities that we have with guys in-house, and we have some other options as well in-house.
We'll go to Brooks and then Martin.
Hey Nick, I know you said Sunday that you're holding out hope. Are there any with Brandon? Is there any more definitiveness about what the projection is for the rest of the year? I know he shared he was having surgery next week, and questions on the sideline like, can you play with this? What do you envision with him for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I think it's pretty well known that he'll be out for the rest of the season. Yeah, again, my heart goes out to him, and how much he's put into this thing his entire career, and just this season, and we'll sure as heck miss him. And I know one thing about BG is that, the play, like I said, speaks for itself. The leadership is very special. His leadership's very special, and BG is going to be around, and he's going to be still leading. I know that man can lead when he's on the field, when he's off the field, no matter what. And I'm excited that we still have his leadership and his everything that he feeds this football team. And so again, but bummed for Brandon.
We'll go to Martin and then Tim.
Hey, Nick. If I could change gears a little bit to the upcoming game against the Ravens, do you find that, a lot of the challenges that you guys will face, trying to stop Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are kind of similar to what opponents face, trying to deal with your duo of Jalen and Saquon?
Yeah, both different players, different schemes, everything like that. But I think what the thing that you can really focus on is Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are phenomenal football players that help their team win football games, and Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley are phenomenal football players that help their teams win football games, or their team win football games. So excited about the opportunity this week because it's our next one. It'll be a really good opponent, really well coached, good players. Good atmosphere that will be there. Excited about the opportunity this week, and we're going to have to be on it, against a really good team.
We'll go to Tim and then Olivia.
Hey, Nick, I know that your teams have gone up against Derrick Henry a decent amount over the course of your career. Any one game in particular or moment stand out to you, and then just your thoughts on being sort of front row to Barkley versus Henry on Sunday?
Sure, yeah. Obviously, both great football players, and a lot of respect for Derrick Henry. Been able to, like you said, to see him a bunch when I was in the division. I think we played him one time since I've been here in 22. But yeah, big, strong, fast, hard to tackle. And so that he is as advertised when you see him in person. And obviously, we all see it. You guys all see it. The play speaks for itself. And so we'll have to be good with our fundamentals, as you always. You got to be in the right positions on defense. You got to tackle well. You got to get off blocks well. You got to have relentless effort to the football, which is everything we pride ourselves in defensive football, playing good football. Because if you're not, he's able to hit a home run. And make you pay if not everybody's on the same page, if you're not tackling well, if you're not getting off blocks well, if you're not hustling to the football. And so that part of it reminds you of Saquon, because it's similar, right? With Saquon, if the team doesn't tackle well, you're going against get off blocks well, hustle the football, or not all on the same page, the home run can be you can hit a home run, and it's similar for both guys.
We'll go to Olivia and then Bo.
Hey, Nick. When we talked to Britton Covey at the end of last week, he said that he feels like this team this year is better equipped to handle adversity just based on the experiences that they went through last year. And then by the way that the team has taken to your messaging of staying humble during this win streak. Do you agree with that premise? And either way, why or why not?
I think anytime you go through adversity, it makes you stronger if you allow it to. And one thing that, again, last year is in the past. We are 11 games into this season, and we've went through adversity this season as well. And when you go through that, do you let it shape you, right? Do you allow it to be humble and to learn the things that you can learn from it, understanding that when you go through adversity, that is a great opportunity for growth. And I think that's what we've seen, right? Growth through adversity. That's part of our nature, right? Of, lifting in the weight room. You can't get stronger unless you go through adversity lifting. It's the same thing here. And having that mindset of like, hey, we're going to get better from this. And I think that's just been our mindset, and what we learned from last year, what we've learned from some of the difficult things that we've went through this year. And so, yeah, I think that you're better as you go through adversity, and there's no question if you allow it to. And I believe that this team, this coaching staff, this these players have allowed this, our adversity that we've had through our time here together shape us and get us to where we are right now. And so we'll continue to let our experiences mold us and strengthen us. And a good opportunity this week against a really good opponent.
We'll go to Bo and then Jimmy.
Hey, Nick, I just wanted to follow up on what happened at the end of the first half there and what you might do differently next time.
Yeah, not going to get too much into that. I'll keep it at the same as what we talked about after the game. We didn't coach it well enough. We didn't execute it well enough. So I'll just keep it at that right now. I respect your question, Bo. Sorry, I just don't want to get into too much there schematically.
Okay, thank you.
We'll go to Jimmy and then Chris.
Hey, Nick. Josh Sweat has 7 sacks during your 7-game winning streak. Seems to be having a bounce-back season. Last year, he had that 4-game stretch where he played 60 or more snaps. He had a crazy game against the Bills where he played like 81, I think. Was there a conscious effort to kind of bring that down this year? I think this year his high snap total is 45 in any one game. And then obviously he's probably going to have to play a little more with BG being out. So how do you kind of balance, keeping his snap counts down and also the need for him to play more with BG out?
Yeah. All our players' rep counts are on our mind and thought through. Everybody has an individualized plan. I think I've kind of answered this too through some Saquon questions, but everybody has an individualized plan. Sweaty's no different. He's having a good year. He's got his body in shape to play the plays that he's playing. But you go into every game, you think about everybody going into every game of how many, touches you want them to have. Not that you always can control that, how many reps you want them to have, but there's some flexibility within a game you may have a number in mind of how much you want them to play, but it could swing 5-10 plays either way, right? So there's some grace there. But like I said, it's our job to think through every single player and their health and how we practice them and how we play them each week. With that being said, you do what you need to do to win each football game, and you try, just like I say with Saquon, you try to manage it through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, knowing that every game's so important, and every game you got to focus on how are you winning this football game. That's what you love about the NFL. It's unlike any other sport where all chips are in every single week because you got there's only 17 of them, and so to answer your question. It's always on our mind. It's on everybody's mind, or every player's mind. Everyone's got an individual plan, and then it can go back and forth with where you get it to. And when you get into a game, things can change a little bit, and will change a little bit.
Okay, thanks.
We'll go to Chris and then Ed.
Afternoon, Nick. Milton Williams had a strong game against the Rams. What have you seen from him this season, and do you think that his versatility lends itself to him playing on out edge more now that BG is out?
Again, like I said, we have options to do different things there. Milton's done a really good job. He's tough. He works hard. Good teammate. All the things you want out of one of your players. Plays with good fundamentals. His fundamentals continue to get better. I've said a lot of nice things about Bobby King as the linebacker coach. Clint Hurt's done an unbelievable job as our defensive tackle coach. And helping our defensive tackles get better fundamentally. And Milton's Milton has seen that success because of how he works and the coaching that he's getting from Clint. He made a couple nice plays in our game and had a really nice game in our game against the Rams. And then for that being said, you can't be great without the greatness of others. A lot of double teams were going towards Jalen Carter in that game, which left Milton have some opportunities one-on-one that he was able to win. And so it's just a style of good defense. Again, you need your teammate, you need your brother to play the best of your abilities, and I think we saw that on Sunday.
We'll go to Ed and then finish with Zach.
Yeah, hi, Nick. Just ask you about your schedule here. You don't have to get on a plane for the next rest of the season, 2 bus trips and 4 of your last 5 at home. What's the value of that at this point in the season, especially for a team that has played so many games coming out of an early bye?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we made up all that time on the Brazil trip and the Los Angeles trip last week. I'm just kidding, but yeah, it's good. It's really at this time of the year. Yeah, it's a benefit. There's no doubt. To be in this, be in Philadelphia where you have these close teams next to you that you can have bus trips to. That's huge. And then to have we played a lot of road games early on, but when you play a lot of road games early on, now you get the opportunity to play some home games. So we love being at home in front of our fans where it's loud. One of the best place to play in the NFL. We know how rowdy it will be when we get back home in a week. But yeah, I think it's it's an advantage to teams that think it's an advantage, and we definitely think it will be an advantage for us. Give us an opportunity to be home and not get on a plane here. So excited about that. But all we're really thinking about, I think that's big picture, and that's something that I need to look at every once in a while. Only thing we're focused on right here as a football team is the Baltimore Ravens.
We'll finish with Zach here.
Hey, good afternoon, Nick. What's your philosophy or policy as far as injured players traveling with the team, being around the team during the week? Because in the past 4 years, it's kind of varied based on the player and the injury.
Yeah, it's exactly it, Zach. Everybody's a little bit different. I want these guys to be. I know what it's like to go through an injury as a football player, and it can be a really lonely place where you're watching your teammates go out every week. I put myself back to 2001, where I'm out with a leg injury at Mount Union, and every time my roommates left to go play a game, I'd be sobbing in my room that I wasn't able to be a part of that. And so I like to be very sympathetic towards that, and I want the guys. I want the guys always to be around the team. Meetings, games, home or away. Everything is dictated, though, on the player's safety. Can they be on the sideline for a game based off their injury? Is it safe for them to have a plane ride, in which case we don't have, or the bus ride, a long bus ride, right? And so we talk about that every week at the beginning of the week. Hey, is this guy good to go? Boom, here. And then with guys in IR, we got a little formula for all those things to have a plan for all those guys. But I think the most important thing that I want those guys to feel from me and from the team is that just because they're not on the field, they have contributed to where we are to this point and will continue to contribute, and they're part of this football team. And because it is lonely, man. It can be a lonely place. I hate saying that, but it really can. And so you want to embrace these guys, put your arms around them, and let them know that they're in it with us until the very end, and a reason why we're in the position we're in it currently. And so, but everyone's treated a little bit different based off their injury, and whether it's safe or not for them or beneficial or not for their recovery to be on the field or to be in a plane.
As a natural follow-up, I'm sure you've seen Brandon's sentiment that he's going to be around. Is that your expectation, that he'll be able to take these trips and be, whether it's practice or games?
Haven't got to that point yet. I sure as heck hope so. We need him. I need him. The team needs him because, again, Brandon Graham affects the team way more than just on the field, because you guys know him. I mean, because of the person he is, because of the captain he is, because of the teammate he is. His enthusiasm and love for football and love for his teammates is infectious. And like I said, everybody in every workplace, I hope and I wish that they have a Brandon Graham available to them, because it brings up everybody every single day, and that is a special quality that Brandon Graham has. And so I will be, even if they say that he might not be able to go on the sideline, I will be lobbying with everything I have to make sure that he can, and I'll do my best to protect him on the sideline if the ball gets anywhere close to him.
Thank you.
Thanks for the time, Coach.
Thanks, guys.